Welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and Product Review. And together I have with me...
Kage, how's it going?
And Snog.
That's hi.
Was there too much clubbing this weekend, Hog, that you were with the Snog, with some chicks or something, or what?
Dude, I think I'm still hungover a little bit.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
You're hanging like a hungs over?
Yeah, I'm hung like a horse.
Yeah.
Hungover like a horse.
Got to watch yourself. Booze and boats don't mix.
Nah, dude, I'm getting too old for that kind of stuff. Gotta watch it, dude.
We got a decent show planned for you today. We're going to cover one of the articles. As you know, Steve Cortes, a friend of the show, we like to cover. He's been spot on the last 2 years of everything he's called. Him and Navarro have. The latest is mass evictions and foreclosures loom. The Alphabet Media would like you to talk about the Mar-a-Lago raid and things like that. But what they're ignoring is the mass evictions and foreclosures. Crashing real wages with persistent inflation squeeze Americans in financial vice. Guys, with this article, before we start, does this kind of take place with the coincide with the jobs report that we saw, where people were getting second jobs, and now we're finding out why because of this potential foreclosure looming?
Could be. I mean,
correlation does not necessarily mean causation, but there's definitely some correlation with this. So, yeah.
Hog, would you like to add anything to that? Looks like retirees who live in Bucolic Paradise Village retirement community outside San Diego, California, recently received shocking news. Their reoccurring bills for rent and other fees will reportedly vault higher. Yes, sir.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Hog, are you there? Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got Verizon. Do you got Verizon?
Well, I was just saying, dude, Kage, if you were losing your house, wouldn't you get a second job?
I would definitely try to downsize and then get a second job, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, dude, right now in Utah, sometimes it costs a lot less to own a home than it does to rent.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just go van life.
Yeah, there's always that option. I think most people are going to be forced into that, I imagine, with how prices and inflation are going up.
Yeah, there is with the family too. You are starting to see unless you have family, then that could put a damper in it. But you're starting to see the van life popping up more in parking lots near you. So I know I have. It looks like higher than normal, astounding at $1,000 a month, a jump for bills for rent and other fees were reported. Prior to the increase, total cost per apartment started $3,000 per month. The local Fox affiliate interviewed a daughter and elderly parents who reacted to the indignation. "I'm livid. I cannot believe someone would do this. My mom and her husband are 85 years old and on a fixed income." The management company responded that the huge increase was compelled and offset the rising of food costs, labor, and supplies. Unfortunately, Paradise Valley store is hardly isolated. In fact, prepare for evictions and foreclosures to explode in America in the coming months as this toxic financial two-punch crashing real wage combined with sky-high inflation to force millions of Americans out of their homes. We told you guys this was coming about a year to 2 years ago, but everybody thought everything was fine. Although in Saudi Arabia, an oil company had record profits last year or this year, guys. They were getting I wonder why that is. Do you guys know about that?
I think it has something to do with their local economy trying to boost them up, and basically them buying things on the cheap where they are and not necessarily buying our stuff where we are.
Well, they're selling us their cheap oil and we're not producing anything, so they're reaping the benefit there, Kage. What's happened. Record profits for them, but not for us. So there you have it. They're making out on everything. Do you have anything to add on that, Hog?
Not great.
How does that happen, dude? There he is. Mikey back? Michael! Michael! Mike!
He's got it muted or something.
Yeah, he's there. I'm waiting for him to chime in. Mikey! I'm going to call him.
It's got to be somewhere where he lives or something.
It's my phone,
Yeah.
dude. It's being stupid. I walked away from my Wi-Fi, dude, and I don't know what's going on. It says I have full bars, but it's not. There's no internet on it. You idiots.
Wifey.
Yeah, that's weird, dude. Well,
All
so
right.
now I just have to
Where's
stay
it?
on my Wi-Fi.
He's all, staying at the Wi-Fi.
Dude, it's weird though.
All right.
Like jacked up my whole connection. You idiot. Excuse
So,
you,
Mike,
Fraser.
It says Bloomberg News found that a staggering 5.4 million households, or 40% of households, are not current on their rent or mortgage and will be evicted or foreclosed in the next 2 months.
How many?
5.4 million. 5.4 million households.
That's because it's easy, dude.
That's not good, guys.
Yeah, I bet a lot of these people can't even afford to put food on the table almost.
No, dude, if they can't pay for their freaking homes.
No. But the alphabet media is fixed on Mar-a-Lago, guys. I mean, really? That's a distraction because they know the chickens are coming home to roost. The question is, does this hit before midterms?
That's exactly what
most likely.
It's a distraction, huh?
I mean, their legacy is basically shot like a dead horse, shot again, hoping it'll get back up, but it's not getting back up.
I think I heard they're begging the Fed not to do a 3/4 point raise next month. That's the rumor.
Yeah, right. The Fed will basically say, screw that, we're getting what we want, and you can't stop us.
You have anything to add in there, Hug?
Not only are these houses getting foreclosed on, but then people won't be able to sell either.
And that's not the only thing they had either. I'll look up the other. I'll play the video for everybody on the sound of Cortes's Chalk Talk about what is it? Repos are up for cars too. High, big time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, dude. If home repos are up, car repos are through the roof.
Yeah, car repos are definitely up. The confluence of severe economic pressure puts vulnerable citizens in a financial vice. On the income side of the ledger, Americans now endure 16 straight months of real falling wages, meaning they pay to adjustable inflation. But according to Biden there, you had 0% inflation in July, and the Outhouse has been portraying that as well. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, but that's not the full picture, and they're just hoping, praying that no one else will dig too deep, and they'll just read the title and basically think all's well, go back to regular business. But
when's the tipping point for people, guys?
Well, I don't know.
When they realize all the money in their bank account is gone, or the money in their bank account is worthless, basically, is my guess.
Yeah.
That's when the people will draw the line.
Because you got about 35%. You've only got 35% of people, the 30% that would be willing to do government income, universal income. The rest of the population, I don't think is going to go for that. Just saying.
No, I wouldn't.
So, it says, even if paychecks tick higher and added earnings cannot pace up with prices and consumer staples galloping at 40-year record pace. For example, the latest CPI report, which the White House actually bragged about, showed a blistering hot overall consumer price index increased to 8.5%. Within that report, details showed food prices soaring at the hottest velocity since 1979. Guys, some of this news comes from Bloomberg, and Bloomberg's not the gateway pundit, if you know what I mean. So, and they're not like a conservative, like wheelhouse economic thing here. This is Bloomberg that's saying this stuff.
Yeah.
So, you can see the chart right here on your screen. The chart's depicting the plunge of real wages under Biden reaching negative 3.2% in July. So the outhouse is saying one thing, and you're seeing this, and people are seeing it in their pockets. This isn't a good combination as far as that. What's happening? What say you guys?
There's nothing that they can do to turn back the tide, I'm afraid. I mean, it's already wet past their feet, and they're trying to keep their footing.
We talked about this on the show about a month ago. Are you guys still thinking that they're going to try to do another inject something in here for the people and give them breadcrumbs, or no?
I don't know, dude.
I think they're done with that. I mean, take a look at recent news with the Fed hiring all these new agents and everything to basically have in almost every city to basically squeeze more from the populace, basically. I think they're done. I don't think they're going to give us a lifeline or crumbs or anything. They're just going to be brute force our way or the highway, I think.
Hog, what's your opinion?
It's not going to do anything, that's for sure. We already know that. Does that mean they're going to not do it? You never know. These goofs. So.
Yeah, I think they're on the return and everything like that. I don't know. I don't see it either, but you never know what desperation ploys they'll be pursuing. Such gratuitous sustained loss of real income crushes the actual buying power of all Americans, and especially the working class citizens who see their lifestyles decline measured by every single month. The weight of destruction or prosperity compelled millions of workers to turn to dangerous practices of loading up on high interest rate credit cards to deal with the inflation explosion. Guys, when that bottom falls out, the adjustable rate credit cards, you will see more. Towards the end of December of 2021, we talked about on this show before, you had 21 to 22 million people taking out adjustable rate credit cards. That is now increased on that, so that is probably getting really bad in itself. Total credit card debt in the second quarter this year jumped to $46 billion. That's the highest clip in 20 years. That's insanity.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts.
Where do you think?
That's an untenable position. How do we keep people from taking out the pitchforks and torches?
I don't know how they're going to do that. So,
Fraser, you got what, 60,000 or something like that in credit card debt?
No, I do not have any debt. Not one penny of debt.
Oh, that's rare.
Yeah,
that is rare.
It says credit card becomes the credit card debt becomes far more attainable. Do you guys think this is, some people are putting gas and everyday food on that and stuff like that because they're trying to survive?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dude. All these people who can't pay their house bills, like how many house payments do you think you're on that?
I think they're behind on 2 house payments at least, most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they've thrown them on their card. I mean, you got to be behind like 3 payments to get a whatever, dude, Forco, and think about how many people have maxed out their credit cards. They've just been doing that all year. Until that maxes out, and then they get another card, so they're just so far, dude. It's just, that sucks, dude. That really does.
Yeah, this is like, we can reverse course on this if they try to change their scenario. But when you pass another $800 billion deal, I don't see. You can do whatever you want with collectors and everything, but when you have all this debt looming out there,
you've got people not going to help anything. Pay their mortgages, and what do? You give money to Ukraine, and you hire on 80,000 IRS agents to just tax and collect more from these people who are already broke. Jeez, man, that's insane.
And this is coming from Bloomberg again. This isn't coming from a Black Helicopter Theory site. This isn't coming from the Dark Knight or anything like that. This is coming from Bloomberg here. The credit card debt has become, and it's coming from Cortes as well. He was a financial financial commentator as well on NBC before it was CNBC before it went rogue and started turning into the pom-poms for the regime there. The credit card debt becomes more unattainable with interest rates rising materially because, and you know, when that thing jumps, everybody's going to walk from those cards. As those rates increase, they're just going to stop paying and they're going to walk from those cards again and probably do BK, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, dude.
That's the only scenario I see.
That's all they can do. Literally, they already know that too. They're just, that's why it's like, doesn't matter. Just fill them all up and, you know, whatever you can do, keep your head above water, and you're just going to file whatever, and it's all going to get washed away and on to basically the rest of the nation's hands.
Yep.
So didn't we say everything else?
Didn't we say that before that this thing's going to make 2008 look like a picnic? I believe we said that.
Boy.
Yeah, it's going to be making it look like a party by comparison.
Yeah, this is getting bad. Concurrently, the massive ascent in interest rates also forces mortgage rates higher than just months ago. Here's a 30-year mortgage chart going back 5 years, contrasting when President Trump years versus the Biden years and spike rates. So I guess he didn't put that on the chart there. So basically, we didn't have that. But Cortes also did another interesting thing on repos. I think I could play the recording there. Let me just find it here, guys. Let's see. You guys have any analysis to this as well? For it looks like Cortes posted 22 minutes ago again too. The Fed manufacturing interest index was expected +5 today. Instead, it cratered to -31. And you could see this. This is from Cortes posted Trading Economics United States New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. So guys, it went from that number of plus. They thought it was going to be +5. It was cratered to -31. It's the largest drop ever outside spring 2020 lockdowns. So technically now they're saying we're reversing and we're getting back to spring levels of 2020. That's got to be crazy. That means the recession is actually growing harder.
Man.
Yeah. So they were expecting it to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So much for the bright future that a lot of people supposedly voted this last election, right?
Yep.
Oh, dude, and what's scary is, like they said, dude, since the COVID thing, dude, but this time there's no COVID measures to really blame it.
Yeah.
And basically there's no nothing to draw from to actually to split the difference for most people.
Right.
Bloomberg also says that homeowner index is down 8 months in a row and is the worst slump since the housing crisis of 2007. So technically you're in 2007, 2008 levels currently right now. Some people don't think that, and they're just out blowing dough everywhere and they're not cutting back. But people need to start realizing where it says the home index plunges yet again. The National Association of Home Builders, Cortes writes, slammed to 49 today. Expectations were 55. Other than lockdowns, the descent is the lowest housing read of NAHB since 2014. The Biden inflation crushes prosperity. Guys, this is becoming an unmitigated disaster how this is heading. And if people don't see this, this is just ridiculous here.
It's just like not talked about, dude.
They just want to bury their head in the sand and pretend it's all a bad dream.
Yeah, they're just talking about the DOJ and all this stuff, and it's a distraction from the what's happening with the economy. And then Cortes Sunday had his video out. The repo man gets busy thanks to Biden inflation. Here, let me tell me if you guys yell out if you're not picking this up. All right, let me just find it here.
Nation Patriots, the repo man is getting busy, and that's an ominous sign of Biden's car troubles. For the numbers, let's go to a Chalk Talk brought to you by Getter. Repossessions have now risen to 15,000 per day nationwide in America. Why? Because of unsustainable debt. Total auto loan debt, $1.43 trillion, a record. And for the first time ever, the average loan balance is over $20,000 per car.
Holy
that
crap.
means a monthly payment of $730 every single month that so many consumers simply can't afford. prices are skyrocketing everywhere in their life. Now, let's look at an affordability index. How many weeks does it take to work for the average worker to buy the average new car? Back in 2013, it took 36 weeks. 2019, under Trump, it went all the way down to only 32 weeks. For most of the last decade, this number was pretty stable at 35 weeks. But now it explodes up to 42 weeks. You're working an extra 7 weeks to buy a car, and it's because of Biden and the Democrats.
There you go. That was Cortes right there. Anybody else have any comments about that one, huh?
Don't buy a new car. I don't, unless you're making over 200 grand, like, don't go buy a new car. Come on, people.
No, you're just setting yourself up for, you plan on putting the keys and walking off, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
not saying to do
people
that.
need to realize that the moment they drive that off the lot, it loses about 50 to 60% of its value right there.
Yeah, if you're going into buying now, currently you're buying an inflated car currently, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry for the auto industry, but
it's always bad. I mean, really, it's buying a new car is just hardly, it sucks, but it really sucks right now, really bad. And like, dude, these people that are taking out these friggin' 10-year loans and ridiculous stuff. Dude, a $700 and something payment is, I mean, that's, dude, that's not, like I said, man, you're paying that on a car, you should be making over 200 grand a year. That's my opinion, dude. Like, I make a decent amount and I drive an old beat up freaking used car, and I just would rather not have that debt right now. I couldn't imagine having that on top of a mortgage and being behind and all that. This just sucks. It's not the way to live.
The days of the cheap credit and the fun and the joking around and all, that's over. It's done. Those days are over. I'm sorry, guys, but those days are over, unfortunately. So, but we're still in the phony time, as in before World War II, during World War II, before that time, they called it the phony war. This is the phony time of the economy. So that's all I'm going to add about the article. You can go check out Steve out on Twitter and Getter. And you guys got anything to add about this show? We didn't do any stocks today because we had some technical difficulties we're working out. But we will have stocks tomorrow. Do you guys have anything else to add about this depressing news?
Just look after your own and make sure you got an exit strategy.
Yeah, hang in there. Keep on keeping on.
Watch what stocks you invest in, right?
A wise man once said, "It's dawn until dusk ordeal."
Yep. Dawn till dusk ordeal, and dawn till dusk situation.
Yep.
Be safe and watch your wallet. So, and don't make it a dog show. And what?
Good night, people.
That was it. Yeah.
Do it, Fraser.
Good night now.
No,
good night now.
I gotta hear it. For the
Good
show
night
ends.
now.
No.